Hi guys, I'm going to be walking you through what our digital Schoology course looks like. It's going to be very important you know where to find things and how to get to things because whether you're in school or at home, we're going to be using this all year. We're not creating a notebook for ourselves this year, so we're going to really be relying on using the resources here and building that throughout the year together. So the first thing that you're going to look at, which I know we've talked about in class and also on the live stream videos, is that we have a bathroom sign out and sign in form. Before you can leave the classroom for any reason, whether it's bathroom or nurse or office, or even to see another teacher, you need to complete this form. So that's always going to be there right at the top. The second thing is a class question and answer document. This is going to be really important for when you're at home. So at those times where you don't have a live person, but you have a question, you're going to drop the question in there. But you need to have two things on your mind. One, be super patient because both Mr. Koss and I are running classes at all times. So you need to make sure that you know that your question may get answered right away, but it also may take up to a day or so. So you need to make sure that you have that in mind when you're putting the question in. And then the second thing is really read what questions were there before you go and ask it. So let's say we're doing a worksheet and you have a question about problem number 2. Well, someone earlier in the day might have already asked about question 2. So look to see if question 2 is discussed there. And if it is already, there might be an answer for you. And that way you don't have to wait for more feedback later on. So really pay attention to that. Next, I'm going to get into the folders. So the first folder is just expectations, beginning of year things, and frequently asked questions. So when I go into this folder, the first thing I see is that we have Mr. Koss's remote expectations and my expectations as well as course syllabus. So those are both there for you to always reference, including how to get a hold of me on a daily basis and how we're going to communicate. I'm also planning on building frequently asked questions. So things like how to submit assignments and things like that. As of right now, there's nothing in it, but that's my hope. The last thing is that your one Grafton lessons that you've done at the beginning of the school year this year will also be found in this folder. Now we're going to go to classwork and lessons. So each day you are always going to be expected to come to this page, go into the classwork and lessons, and then go to the week. The newest week will always be at the top. So in this example, the first week we're having of real academic content is week number 2, and it starts on the 21st. So if you open that folder, and then we have Monday, you're going to click Monday, and then your assignments will be in here. They're not up here yet because it's not Monday, but you'll be able to find those in there. Also, I want to show you, you don't have to always click back to materials in order to go back. Let's say I only want to go back to the week folder. Look at the breadcrumb trail across the top. You can follow it all the way back to our class. So currently we're in the Monday 921 folder, but I could choose to go back to the week folder or go back to my classwork and lessons and choose from other weeks. Or I can end up fully back right here, right in our main class. Now, we are going to be dealing with lessons at this point, but it's going to be really hard to find topics later on. So let's say down the line, you want to remember how to add integers, but you don't remember what day or what week we were working on that. That's why we have the notes and resources folder. Under notes and resources, what you're going to see in this folder is you're going to see topics. And you're going to see, if I use the example again, adding integers, you're going to see a video about adding integers, and then you're going to see a document about adding integers, kind of like a notebook page. So one will be a video version, and one will be just a typed out version with examples. You can always come back here and look at this, as long as you're not taking assessments, obviously. I'm going to skip homework for right now, and I'm going to go into quizzes and tests. With quizzes and tests in here, we're going to start with a pre-course test next week. And when we start with that pre-test, you are going to be working through the assessment. We're going to talk more about assessment features on Wednesday when you are taking the pre-assessment. Again, not a grade, just trying to see where you're at. We're going to do that Wednesday, but know that all of our assessments will be in this folder. Okay, let's talk about the big one, homework. So homework normally was this thing like you did a topic in school and then you did the topic at home to practice. Homework's not going to work that way this year. Homework is a constant review of topics we have done at any point in the year, with hopes that we're constantly always doing things and things will keep coming back and you can keep asking questions and get better and better. So let's look at our first homework. So we're going to go to homework number 1. And you're always going to see 3 things. It's set up, though, that you cannot access these additional things until you work your way through. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to look at the printable version. Personally, what I would do is I would complete this whole thing on a piece of paper first. Then I would go on to the next part. But that's your choice. I want you to notice that on this worksheet, okay, it's split up Monday through Thursday. So what you're going to do is you are going to be solving problems Monday through Thursday, but it's at your own pace. So on Monday, if you choose to do these 6 problems on Monday, you can do that. And then on Tuesday, you can do the next 6. But what if you have a soccer practice, let's say on Wednesday? So you don't really have time to be able to be doing some additional homework on Wednesday. You could complete your Wednesday also on Tuesday. You could complete the entire worksheet on Monday. You have complete control over how you are going to do your practice that week. The thing is, it is given every Monday, but it is due every Friday. So you just need to make sure you do that every week. After you complete all of the problems, we're going to go back to that homework folder. We're going to talk about submitting our answers. So when you go to submit your answers, you're going to open this assignment up. I'm going to click preview because this is the teacher version, but I'm going to click preview. You're going to get this message at the front. Once you're ready and you've done all of your work in your notebook, you've followed your organization rules, which is you're going to have a title, date, and then making sure that you're showing all of your steps line by line, and then you're going to circle your answer at the bottom. I'm going to say that again. Each problem, after you title and date the page, you are going to put, let's say, question number 1. Then you're going to write the problem or the question. Word problems, you don't have to write those out. And then you're going to solve line by line, very organized, and then you're going to circle your final answer. After each question, you're going to box it in. So I know that what work went with question number 1. Now we're going to click Start New Attempt. The questions that are here are exactly the same questions that were on that PDF. So now your job is only to input those answers in. So you'd go through and you'd input those answers for each of them. The big thing is really pay attention to details. So see how it says do not include extra spaces? Don't. Make sure it's number, number, number right after each other. Really make sure you're doing that because if you don't, you could get marked wrong. Really read those directions carefully. So each of those look very similar in solving. Okay, I'm going all the way through. Now we're at a word problem, right? So it says solve. It says do not include any extra spaces or label. Do you notice how the label was given to you? So if you type that in there, you would get it marked wrong. So really pay attention all the way through. Okay, the last step is that I need you to show me your work. Okay, so whether you're in front of me or at home, I need to be able to see your work. So what you're going to do is you are going to take photos of that work and submit it to me. In this case, personally, what I think is great is that you could take multiple photos, maybe with your phone or your computer, and you could just drop those images in a Google Doc, download it as a PDF, and drop it here. You can, some people have iPhones or a DocScan app, if you like those, where you can scan multiple images. There's lots of different options, but you need to submit your work. It might be super easy and all of your work was on one page, so you can just take a picture of it with your Chromebook, holding it up, or take a picture with your phone and just submit your work to me. Then you're going to review and click Finish. Make sure you've answered all of them. After you click Finish, it's going to give you the results of your assessment. So it's going to tell you what you got right and what you got wrong. You then need to go back and fix your work. That's the last step of your homework for the week. So your last step, and I'm going to go back to it. Once you submit your answers here, you're now going to be allowed to see the solutions. Okay? And the solutions are right here for you. And you can see exactly how my work is organized, right? This is how your work should look, okay? And I've been giving you all of the answers. Now, why on earth would I give you all the answers and how to do it? Well, it's here if you can't figure out what you did wrong. So if I'm looking at problem number 1 and I keep getting 2,631, I need to make sure that I'm actually going through and I can look at my work as the teacher. I can look at the teacher's work and say, oh, my goodness, I carried 2, not 1, or something along those lines. So it's always here for you to go back and fix that work, okay? So that's your last step when it comes to homework. What we're going to do now, okay, for our class assignment is I'm actually going to let you start your homework now so that you can ask questions and clarify what you need to do. Maybe you need to figure out how you're going to submit your work and practice and try that. We're going to try to figure out all those little quirks, okay? This homework is due Friday, but you can submit it at any point in time. So if you finish it during this class period because it's an easier one this week, or if you submit it, let's say by end of day, that's perfectly fine. But remember, after you submit, your job is not done until you correct it all. Good luck, and ask me any questions either through Schoology messages or our Q&A document, and Mr. Koss and I will get to you. Have a great day. Bye.